this morning. But gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for your leadership. I know that there's probably been a great deal of discussion here this morning, as there is just generally about the threats from China, Iran, the conflicts in Ukraine. But I feel it's important to always underscore that we never take our eye off of North Korea. We just last month, of course, fired missiles in the direction of Japan, one of our strongest allies in the Pacific. It was Prime Minister Kishida who noted just shortly after the most recent launch from North Korea that their frequent launches threaten the peace and safety of not only Japan, but the region and the international security. So I just make this statement to let you know that it's something that we're certainly engaged and tracking, and I know you are as well. But I want to ask you, Mr. Secretary, not about North Korea, but a focus on the Arctic. Your FY25 budget overview states that the goal of this year's budget request is to, quote, develop a monitor and response approach in the Arctic. So I read that to suggest that this is a passive approach in the Arctic, which I think would be a strategic critical error. As you know, we're already behind, we're under-equipped when it comes to assets. When you look at what Russia has with their icebreaker fleet of about 50 vessels in the United States here, we have barely 2. Mr. Secretary, you've been to the state, you've had really strong statements noting that the United States has to project power in both regions while also serving as a front line in the Homeland Defense mission. So you're saying all the right things, but I'm concerned about the wording here. And I would ask for you to just expand on what a monitor and respond approach in the Arctic really entails.
Thanks, Senator. The United States is an Arctic nation, and of course, this is a strategically important region to us for a number of reasons. And we're going to continue to take actions to prioritize the region. You're going to soon see us release a new Arctic strategy, and that strategy will account for the changes in the environment, you know, the warming climate, the fact that we have, you know, new members of NATO that I think will be very helpful in working with us going forward. We see each of the military services making investments in their ability to operate in that environment. We also see our combatant commander, NORTHCOM, partnering with Canada to modernize NORAD. And so, again, it's important to us. You know that we conduct some pretty significant exercises like Northern Edge up there, and every time we do that, we learn a lot more about ourselves and the challenges that are facing us. But again, the Arctic will remain important to us, and we'll account for that in the new strategy that we're going to release.
Well, I thank you for that, and would suggest also, when we factor it into the strategy, that again, when we look at the budget, making sure that it is resourced to demonstrate that, whether it is in the proper Arctic equipment, cold weather service, incentive programs, and the like. Very quickly to you, General Brown, as you well know, Alaska's in a pretty unique position because it executes a NORTHCOM mission, but with PACOM assets, and it creates some operational control issues as NORTHCOM and 11th Air Force commanders are unable to effectively utilize their assets in a timely and efficient manner. Every 11th Air Force commander I've worked with has expressed the concerns about the structure in that it doesn't prioritize homeland defense, making their job a little bit more harder. I'm sure you're tracking this issue. I know that the proposal is currently being considered within the Pentagon. I don't know if you have any updates that you can provide now or at a later point in time, but it is something that, again, we're looking to address. I had a conversation with General Guillot just yesterday.
Well, having served as a commander of Pacific Air Force, I'm very familiar with the operational challenges associated with our forces in Alaska that are both focused on NORTHCOM, NORAD missions as well as Indo-PACOM missions. I'm not aware of a direct proposal, but I have talked to General Guillot as well, and just based on experience, I know it's something we got to take a look at to continue to make sure that we don't create unnecessary seams to make sure we can respond in whichever way the nation requires with the capabilities that are stationed there in Alaska.
Appreciate your review of that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Collins.